What's up, guys? Craig with MotoBros. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna do a couple more installs. Just let us know if you have any questions. We got John, the rear brake pads are in here. Thanks for the question a couple days ago. But let's get straight into it. Just remember, hit that subscribe button. MotoBros.net, you can get everything you see that we're doing on the Grom. And if you don't see it, just send us an email and I can give you pricing. So, as you can see, I had a little bit of a boo-boo. I was backing out the R3 and it clipped it and it destroyed my turn signal. So, I was gonna do them anyway. So now it gives me a reason to do it. So, 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, same on the other side. Obviously I'm gonna do one side, you repeat it on the other. It's not, it's very simple. When you take these out, it does have, there is like a, let's just call it a lipped washer. Let's just call it that. So it's a lip washer, and if you look in the area that you took the bolt out of, which I'll show you now, if you look right in there, you'll see that it's lipped. So what you want to do when you're taking this off, you want to pull it to separate it and then pull it down. So all you want to do is you just want to pull it, push it, and the bottom, same thing, you just want to pull. And you can do one side at a time or 2 sides or whatever you want to do. It doesn't make a difference. But there it is. Very, very simple. You know, all the wires are right here. So to disconnect this, if you're racing and you need to put a number plate on there, you will go through these same steps. To disconnect it, obviously, it's very simple. There's one plug right here. This is the 2018, so the plugs are different from the older models. You just literally pull that, and then that's good. And then there should be, yeah, there's one right here. You pull up the cover, click it, pull it, and that's, I mean, that is it. There's nothing else to it right there. It's very, very simple. Our replacement right here behind me. Here's our replacement. Boom. Just that simple. Our replacement turn signal. Obviously I'm not going to replace that one because it didn't damage it. And that's pretty much it. So you can see right there, blue, orange. The orange one giving me trouble. It should be the blue one. So little tab right there, just click it back, pull it out, and the turn signal comes out. So that's garbage. If you buy these cheap, you know, I don't really use my turn signals. So if you buy these turn signals, they can come with relays, and the relays just go in between the plug-in and the light, and that helps make the flash. Now I don't use my turn signals, so all I did was purchase these nice and cheaply, put them on there, they look good, and that's all I need. So no big deal there. Obviously they just come like that, and then it comes with the adhesive. So it's very simple. I'm just going to go ahead and clean the surface. Okay guys, so now that you got it off, there's the turn signal that you're going to, you know, install, or I'm replacing, and then you have the adhesive. So what you want to do first is put that down, take the turn signal and put the adhesive on it first. So make sure that you get that stuck down very, very nicely, and make sure it's kind of even, because you don't want the adhesive to come off, because then you're just gonna have to get another set of these, which they're not that expensive, so it's not that big of a deal, but why go through the hassle? So stick that, make sure the wire doesn't get in your way, stick it nice and evenly like such. There it is. So as you guys can see, perfectly stuck. It's not over, you can't see. But that is it, man. There's not, I mean, it's just so simple. These Grom installs are easy. Alright, peel the other adhesive off, just like this, like such. Alright, so pull the wire from the back. Pull it back so it's not in your way, and stick that sucker down. Perfect. And that's it. We're back to looking back to normal. And then all you do obviously is the orange that you unplugged, plug it back in there like such. Oops. Twist that around just like that, and that's it. So what you can do is try and hide the wire in the side over here.
because when you do put it back on, you don't want to heavy wire sticking out. So just like that. Make sure it's just not in the way of anything. Nice and hidden. See, the wires are nice and back, and then that's it. Just go ahead and plug this sucker back in. Make sure you pull the cover back over. There's a reason they have that there. You know, you don't want water getting in any of that stuff. Hide this big guy underneath that. It's like a fairing here, but you can call it the whole gauge cluster. And then that's it. Just make sure that you pull them apart so you don't scratch your plastics. Get the lower ones in first. If you get the lower ones in first, the top ones will just fall into place. It's just so simple. So do it like that. That one's in, and then check this one, and that's it. That's it. So put your bolts back in. That's how you install turn signals. Or if you do go racing, you take your light off to put a plate on there. All right, guys, we're moving on to the rear brake pads. I wasn't going to do the rear brake pads because the only time we use the rear brake pads is if we're wheeling or under extreme braking. You know, my foot happens to go down and use the rear brake. So, but we got a request from a viewer, and he said he wanted to see it because he's going to start doing his own maintenance. So, John, this is for you, and it's very simple. So I have no problem doing a video for you. We're going to remove the rear axle, pull the caliper out, and then I'll show you all that. But before you want to do all of that, there is a little black cap right here. So you just want to remove it. So there it is right there. Make sure you don't lose that. Put that somewhere safe. And then you do want to loosen the pin that holds the pads in. So loosen that guy. I'll loosen it just a little bit. Easy peasy. Let's take the axle out. That's that, and all you need to do is you just need to push the axle. It should come out. Very simple. Push it right there. Yep, there we go. Might be a little tight, but if you push it a little bit. So put your hand in there, hold the rim, pull the axle out. Very simple. And then switch hands, grab your caliper, and just slide it back a little bit. Just like that. That would be one of the spacers. And then just leave the rim right there. So very, very easy. Not a big deal. Make sure you don't lose the spaces or they roll away like that one did. And then now that you've loosened the pin that holds the pads, just loosen it all the way. You can put pressure right here with where my thumb is. Put pressure right there. So this is going to be, I mean, it's as easy as the front pads. So. And I'm not changing them. This is just a video for John. I just wanted to show you all the steps. Pull the pin out. The pads will literally, boom, that's it. So very, very easy. The pads do have a little lip on the end of them. So make sure you put that in. There is, hopefully you can see that right at the end over there. Hopefully you can see that. But just put it in right there. Put the other one back in. And then just like the front pads, just put pressure right here. Same place where you took it out. Make sure the pin goes all the way through. Just like that. Tighten this down. Okay, so you can do two things. And I recommend not doing it after. But this pin, you can tighten it all the way down now. But for some of you guys, if you do have trouble, you can put this back on and then tighten it. But I don't want you to forget. Same as the front one. I don't want you to forget. So it's a good thing to, if you put a bolt in, you tighten it right away so you don't forget. But you can put this in, and then as long as you remember to tighten that in, you can do that. So, but that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to it. We tighten it down, put the little black cap on there, and then obviously the axle and the tire and everything goes back on. So, John, I appreciate you sending us questions. I really do. I have no problem doing a video for you. If you have any other questions, let us know. Alright guys, very simple. We're going to switch out the tires. These tires have, I think, 300 miles on them. They still got plenty of rubber. So we are going to switch them out. If you guys want the tires, let me know. No big deal. We are going to put some really, really sticky tires on there. This is the way to do it. How about that? So remove the nut and the spacer. Make sure you put those there. so you don't lose them. Just push your axle through, pull your rim up just a little, you can wiggle it a little bit, and then out comes the axle just like that. Switch hands, pull your rear caliper out first, so she will just slide right on out. Obviously the spacers might fall out, not a big deal, just make sure you don't lose them, and then just move the rim forward and pull the chain off. And that's it. Take your spacers out before you do that. You do not want to lose those, and that's it. Let's change the tire. You know, I know most of you guys don't have a machine, but this is very, very simple. You just remove the core out of the valve stem. So, two things. You can pull the sprocket out before you do anything. You know, usually on big bikes you pull the sprocket out, pull the rubbers out, so you guys can see it. In fact, I'll just do it now so you can see it. So you just pull it up, comes out like that. Make sure that you do not lose that little spacer right there. It needs to go in there. It's in there for a reason. So that's that, and then here's the little rubbers. So there they are right there. Very easy. Just make sure that they're separated there, and then there's a little line in the rim right there, and you put those on there. But you can leave those off for now until you get the tire off. So I know most of you don't have this machine, and it's super awesome, but I just figured I'd show you how to do it. That's it. Here are the sticky guys. So if you happen to get these same tires, so on the front there's double rotation, you do need to pay attention, but just look at your bike and make sure the rotation is right, which it's correct. So this is a Grom. You do not need to balance these tires. Just like that. And let's get this sucker on here. There we go. So you'll hear it snap. There's one, there's the other one. Perfect. Our tire pressure in there, which I like to run on the track. We'll run this at 22, and then on the street I like to run them at 25. So that's it. Okay, so tires on, no big deal. Depending on what stand you have, you can just lay it on there like that. You want to get your rubbers and make sure you put them over the lips. Alright, so what you can do is take, alright, so see, this is what I'm talking about. So see, here's the sprocket and the sprocket holder. This fell out, so make sure you put that right back in there. Make sure it goes all the way in, please. It needs to be flush all the way down, and then just stick that bad boy right back in there, and that's it. You're back to normal. So what you can do first is roll it all the way forward. Put your chain around the sprocket, just like that, and then obviously make sure your bike's in neutral so the chain actually moves. Put your spacers back in, just like that. Move your caliper over and slide it in to the groove where it needs to go so it can be held a little bit. And then all you need to do is just line it up and drop my spacer, and that will happen. You know, the spacers, sometimes the rubbers are worn and all that, but basically pick it up, make sure that your pads are separated so that the rotor can just slide right in there. And see, if you get it lined up correctly, it goes right in. Take your axle, so you might have to pull your rim back just a little bit, get your axle to go through, and then once one side's through and the other one's not, you can move this around. Make sure that it's lined up. There, that one goes. Make sure that your chain adjusters are all the way forward to where you adjusted them before, and that's it. Very, very easy. Obviously,
nut and spacer back on, tighten it down. And there she is. Nice new sticky tire. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on the front. Remove the axle. Get that out of the way. Now, here is the trick with this. It only works if you have one caliper. So what I mean by that is if you only have one caliper, because you know big bikes have two calipers, if you only have one caliper, you can literally pull the axle out and you should be able to just remove the rim like that without taking the caliper off. So I know if you guys have seen other videos with big bikes, they have two calipers. You have to remove the calipers in order to remove the front rim. So this one you don't have to do it. R3s you don't have to do anything with one caliper on the side. You don't have to remove it in order to remove the rim. Okay, so I did the tire. I didn't want to give you another install video on a tire. Not a big deal. So you have a left and right spacer. If they fall out, it's not a big deal. Just make sure you keep them together, and you know what the deal is. So what you can do is put your, if you're facing the bike like I am, put your left spacer in, and don't put the right one in yet. So put your left spacer in, get the rim all the way around the caliper, and make sure you can get your rotor slid in. So just like that, and make sure you just barely get the spacer on the position it needs to go, because you will need to do the other one, you will need to have the rim a little bit further down in order to get it in there. So basically just like that, and just like that, and then slide it all the way up. That's how you don't need to remove the calipers. Very, very simple. Slide your axle in there and then just push it in. Good to go. You can use a mallet obviously to help you out. Well, mallet's over there somewhere. So that's it. New tires on.